Hello and welcome to Watch Our Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to watch. I'm Ben Mandliker, and joining me is Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How's it going?
Oh, great. How are you doing? The whole world's on fire. I'm feeling great, Ben. How are things over there on your side of town?
Things are just wonderful, just wonderful. I had some McDonald's this morning, and I'm just gonna focus all my energy on Bravo, and all my emotions will come out through the recapping of the Real Housewives of New York.
I feel great about it, Ben. Feeling great about everything, our future. Everybody's going to be great. Everybody's going to be fine. Guys, look to your
Yes.
left and say, I love you. Look to your right and say, I love you. Look behind you and go, run, run, run the other way. Yeah, we'll be okay. Like I said yesterday, we are all part of the country of Bravo. We are all citizens of the same country here, and we will love each other
Yes.
no matter what.
Yes, we are. So anyway, let us dive into the Real Housewives of New York because guess what? The Real Housewives of New York was on last night. It's so funny. I don't know why. And actually, by the way, notably, this episode of RHONY actually made me chortle a few times. And I was like, what? Wait, signs of life. Signs of life. I'm laughing. And you know why? Because they finally put Jessel front and center. Hello, Jessel was the breakout star of last year. Why has it taken like 5 or 6 episodes for Bravo to realize that they need to focus on their star more? Why do we have so much Erin content at all times? Give us Jessel.
Actually, I would argue that Erin kind of gave today, believe it or not. I mean, Erin literally came to the show and congratulated herself for we Mexicans bringing Mezcal to America. So
I know.
listen,
She
that's
did invent
that's a
Mezcal.
delusion that we've been missing on this show for a long time. And of
Yes.
course, I wasn't expecting it to come from Erin, but it did. So, welcome. And then we also had Raquel, who's probably one of the coolest people who's ever been on Bravo, I think. Really.
Yeah. Her Raquel has her ratio of being cool to boring is fascinatingly high. Like I've
Yes,
never seen
isn't it?
someone so cool but so boring, right?
She's so cool about everything that she makes her scandals just seem boring. Like we got a big
Yeah.
Raquel scandal today, and I was like, I am bored with your scandal, ma'am. I need more scandalous details and not just people on the internet were mean to me. Why were they mean to you? What were the tweets?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Also,
Were you married? I need to know, and I need other people calling her out on all this shit because I need the calm facade to go away because her storyline's great. I would really love to be friends with this person. But yeah, you're right. Her story is fascinating, and I'm still like, I can't wait for this scene to end.
I personally would love to meet who are the trolls in the art community because that is a funny concept to me. Like I'm in the art community, but I'm also a troll. Like I understand trolling in video gaming. I understand trolling in reality TV. But if you are trolling the art world, that's a very special, unique kind of troll. And I would love to just understand what makes you tick.
But also, you know what makes it even crazier is that it's morality trolling, right? That's what's even more nuts to me is that the art world of all places is like you cheated on your husband and became a lesbian. Ooh, I mean that's why I'm in the art world. I'm in the art world to cheat on my husband and become a lesbian. And by the way, I'm going to do coke off a lesbian's unmarried, newly divorced, cheating ass as soon as I can. That's why we're in the art world. Okay, you think I learned all the lyrics to Oklahoma for nothing?
Yeah. It all doesn't really make sense, and yet also was not very interesting to me, which is strange because I thought it would be more interesting. But I was like, okay, this scene's been going on a long time. But that being said, I thought there were a lot of funny things going on here. So anyway, let's dive in. So we open up with Uba and Sai at a nail salon, and Uba's like, "Oh, I've been coming here for 10 years. They do the best nails. This is where all the supermodels come." And Sai's like, "Oh yeah, wow, that's pretty. Oh my god, I got my toenail in your hair. Sorry."
She literally got her toenail in some lady's hair. And
Literally,
she's
I don't even know.
apologizing, but you know what? The lady got your toenail in her own hair, not
How
you.
did that
The
happen?
lady should be better at toenail clipping. Like she needs to aim her toenail clipper better. I'm not taking the blame for you getting in the way of my toenail coming out. You don't got a huge toenail. If you're even willing to work on it, you are assuming that risk. You know what I mean?
I am going to say I don't think it was size toenail because, well, it could be size toenail if the lady had the toenail on her hand and then brushed her hair, which is a strange thing to do. I think it's more likely that whoever was next to Sai, in this case Uba, that when the toenail was clipped, it went flying, and it's not going to fly like up and over and land in your hair. It's going to fly like ping to the left. So I think this is Uba's nail. I have a conspiracy theory on this. The nail came from beyond the grassy knoll. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just nodding.
I'm with you. I'm completely with you. I love the conspiracy of Sai's toenail trying to murder this lady. I don't know where it came from, but I'm here for it. You know, that's the best thing I've heard today.
That's what I needed to really get through today. Is a conspiracy theory about whose toenail was it. Anyway.
Literally everything.
Just gonna focus on this.
Yeah. So Uba's like, oh, it reminds me of Dumb and Dumber, you know? And Sai's like, no. You know, when they were getting their nails, that no one remembers Uba, okay? What are you bringing up Dumb and Dumber on a Bravo show? What the fuck is that?
I mean, I remember, but I also think but that's not what happened on Dumb and Dumber. Like, no nail went into someone's hair. That's not what happened, Uba.
I don't remember that one. I mean, I remember Dumb and Dumber. They had like stupid haircuts on the poster and stuff. I remember the one where he spoke out of his butthole. What was that one?
That's Ace Ventura. But you know, and Dumb and Dumber, like he goes to get like a pedicure because he's making himself look all nice for Lauren Holly, and then they have to like take out like a massive like industrial drill to take care of the nails. It's a whole thing. So then it was really funny, guys.
Be quiet.
So Jenna, now we go to Jenna. She's in her room and there's a cat on her bed, and the cat is in a little cast. And she's like, this poor thing, just 2 more weeks with a cast. And apparently Jenna says she just like walked in and the cat was like on her bed with like its legs like out. Like I think Kathy Bates had come along and taught this other cat a lesson here.
She didn't like the cat's last book. She was like, you really fucked up that ending, cat. You remember that part in Misery where Kathy Bates gets a thumbnail in her head? So she comes in, and the assistant Molly has some fucking nerve. I'm going to say that right now. Keep your eyes open for Molly, Jenna. Don't trust her, because Molly was like, and we still don't know what happened. Molly, is that an accusatory tone I hear? Are you accusing Jenna motherfucking Lyons? She of the crazy glitter headband, right? What is Jenna's headband, by the way? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that to us? Why are you doing that to the world? Think about things before you go on TV. But it's this big, huge glitter. I don't know if it looks like a funeral veil, but also headband rolled up, like a funeral veil rolled up like a restaurant tarp. Anyway, she's there, and Molly's basically accusing Jenna of, you know, breaking this kitty's legs. So I want to know what's going on in this house. And Jenna's like, no, you know, we just, you know, we found her in bed. She's like, meow, meow. And so I gave her some new teeth, and I explained that the Rockefeller is now for all the villagers. All the villagers are going to meet at the Rockefeller. She's feeling better now.
Yeah. Jenna is like starts leaning down, and she's like, I learned that if you blink really slowly and tilt your head, then that makes cats feel more comfortable with you. Oh God, or it turns on people who want to be lesbians. It's like, Brynn, where'd you come from?
It's an interesting tactic because it's what she uses with Erin. Like last week when Erin was pretending to be mad at her for no reason because she had nothing to do. And she was like, Erin, I don't want to, are you mad? Can we just make up? Just licking your hands, turning in 3 circles, and then, you know, sitting on your kneecap.
Yeah. So then we go to Erin's apartment, and Erin is filling out tote bags that say Mezcalum, and Abe is there to help out. And he's like, wow, that's a lot of bags. And she's like, well, I'm tired. He's like, well, that's not what I meant. She goes, well, a lot of people, like, we're totally over capacity to our super important event. And he's like, I know. That's like, we send the invite out, and everyone decides to RSVP. It's like our product is super, super popular.
Why are you sitting on all my stuff, Abe? So get off my stuff. I'm like trying to do stuff, and then you're sitting on the stuff. Poor Abe just looks so nervous. I hope Abe stole more of that Bitcoin. I hope Abe has a whole secret wallet full of Bitcoin for when he needs to run. We're gonna find Abe in fucking Bermuda one day, just in a straw hat, you know.
Well, the joke's on Abe because Bitcoin is up really high right now. So Erin is like, so Abe and I went to Tulum, Mexico, because that's what Bravo people do in between seasons. And we went there, though, about 12 years ago. And our house manager came over with these nondescript bottles of Mezcal. Hold on. I want everyone to just imagine what this concept of Mezcal is. Yeah. And he started telling us about the history of Mezcal. And he said, it's basically tequila. Tequila is the poor man's drink. And Mezcal is what we Mexicans drink. And I was like, wait, I'm Mexican because I rented a house. So I should drink this too.
And I was like, somebody needs to bring this to America. Somebody, please bring Mezcal to America. Wow. I read a comment today that was like, wow, this is giving Christopher Columbus.
I love
what I discovered.
I love the idea of Erin 12 years ago feeling like she's just discovered Mezcal and it needs to be brought to America when it was like, it's been in America for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Mezcal.
We discovered it. We brought it to America. You're a fucking crazy lady.
Someone needs to bring this to America. Or you could just read the menu at the bar that you're at.
Yeah. And she's calling her business Mezcaloon because you know what? She not only invented Mezcal, she invented the term homegirl. You know, thank God.
That's right. That's right. So she's like, well, so we started a new business called Mezcaloon, and since then we've launched in over 800 accounts. We even got approved by MetLife Stadium to be their only mezcal. I can't believe how well it's done. So then she says that they're going to have a Cinco de Mayo celebration. She goes, which I know is an American holiday, mainly celebrated by white people, invented by white people for white people. I get that. That being said, we're still going to do it. We just want to celebrate it.
Problematic ass Erin have a problematic ass brand celebrated on a problematic ass holiday. And let's just see how she's going to dress. I'm like, please wear a poncho and a sombrero because you just fucking know it's coming.
America needs sombreros. That's what I discovered. I need to bring this to America. People don't know about sombreros.
Abe and I were in Mezcaloon once, and we were like, God, it's like cold. I wish I had a jacket, but without arms, because my arms are fine. Then we came up with ponchos, and we brought them to America.
We were in Mexico once 12 years ago, and we saw a Mexican, and they had we thought it was like a piece of paper, but it's something called a tortilla. And we're like, we need to bring this to America.
Edible round paper. So we did it. Now people are eating burritos out of my real estate notes. It's insane. Look at Erin.
So much needs to be discovered. So they're
going to build the wall for us. It's just going to be built just to keep Erin out from stealing their shit. You know, like, you did not bring us our tostadas back, Erin. She's just flying away in a private plane full of tostadas.
Tostadas
to America.
So then there's Abe is saying he had fun at Jessel's birthday party, and he's like, yeah, I was talking to Jenna, by the way. And I was saying that you guys should talk. She's like, well, we did talk. And now she's been texting me almost every day. And she basically says that, like, it was really sweet that Abe, spoke to Jenna, but just shows that he's going out of his way to be there for me and just shows how much he loves me. And it's very touching for me.
Hey, babe, I just bought a new apartment. You did? What side of town is it on? Oh, it's online. It's in the metaverse. Hey, wait a minute.
But they have tortillas. Okay.
Over there cashing in more Bitcoin. Buying stupid.
We need We need to bring Mezcal to Second Life.
So she's like, well, I mean, it's gonna take more time. I was less reactive than normal. He goes, yeah, you are becoming less reactive. She goes, yeah. He goes, well, I mean, you still are reactive sometimes. She goes, maybe with you. Like, she's becoming less reactive with everybody else, but she's still using Abe as her whipping post. God bless marriage. Sometimes I watch these shows and I'm like, why aren't I married? This looks amazing. If I just had someone like Abe, I could waffle bat around. Wiffle bat? What is it? A waffle bat.
Wiffle bat. I love the idea of a waffle bat, though.
I do too.
Like a bat made of waffle?
Yeah. Right
or
now,
is it a bat that you use on waffles?
I think it would be. Oh, you're right. A wiffle
I think it's
bat.
A bat made of waffle.
I think it would be a bat made out of waffle because then you'd hit a ball, right? Because wiffle bat, you hit a wiffle ball. Right?
Yeah, wiffle is like the genre, it's the style. So I think waffle would be the.
And
like you throw a waffle at the waffle bat.
Yeah. Okay, so
now Jessel's walking down the street with her mother, and they're gonna go get manicures and everything. So they walk into the salon, they sit down.
Big day for nails. Big day.
Big day. Big day. I don't remember why, but it's a big day. Oh yeah, nails. We already had a nail scene. Yeah, that's a theme. So Jessel saying like, every time Mama Tank lands in JFK, it's like the weight has been lifted off my shoulder. She comes to your house and she just gets shit done. She was like Mary Poppins. Also, I finally have someone else I can speak to who's not an imbecile. Pavet.
So they go sit down, and Jessel's just so open about using her mom. I love it. Like, there's a weight lifted off my shoulder, literally. She takes both Pavet and the children. I don't have to do shit. So they start. She's like, oh yeah. She's like, why are you whispering, mother? She goes, you shouldn't be talking so loud. It's my new rule. And she's like, now you're like whispering. What is that? You're whispering? Can you believe it, everyone? What an idiot. And she's like, well, because you're just like, Mom, you're so loud. So they laugh. And she's like, who is this alien inside my mother? Anyway, I told you I have all of these eggs frozen in Beverly Hills. Like, oh, God, please. Did I really fly back here to listen to this tripe for another year? You don't want a baby. Your husband doesn't want a baby. Do something besides pretending that you want to have a baby for television. Please, I'm exhausted.
Your current babies are maniacs. Okay, you are in baby jail until you can get them tamed. Get them the rabies shots that they so desperately need, and then we can talk about IVF.
Your current babies call the checkout lady at the grocery store Mummy. I don't think now's the time to add another to the package.
I watched Jurassic Park the other day, and the Velociraptor apparently watched RHONY and said, whoa, those babies need to chill out. True story. Mother, that's not possibly true. That's a fictional dinosaur from a movie, and characters from movies don't watch characters from reality TV. No, it happened. I'm pretty sure it happened.
The adorable dinosaur that ate Newman was a more attentive mother than you. At least he finished the job. Come on.
T-Rex called and said, your babies need to get it together. That's it. That was all the whole conversation.
Yeah.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
I have seen no proof that Jessel likes being a mother at all. And I know the show isn't about the babies and stuff, but I've heard her talking about it. But all I kind of see is an offloading of the children, which, listen, you know that I stand for that. If I was running for president, I'd be like, ignore your children. We all know that. But I don't know. I don't see a lot except her escaping.
Yeah.
And getting white couches like someone who doesn't even have a child. So I'm not really sure what's going on over there, but I'm not buying this whole, I want a baby.
I think maybe she just has like sunk cost fallacy. Because she's like, look, I paid for these embryos. So like, it just feels like a bad value,
I'm not wasting it. Do you know how many starving children there are all over the world that would love to have babies and white couches right now? She's like, I'm not wasting those babies. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. I just feel like she's just going to make her mom do everything anyway. So just, I don't know, find another hobby. Adding children to the world isn't a hobby.
Yeah. It's so liberating to be able, for some of us, it is a hobby. It's so liberating to be able to actually openly speak about IVF because now I can include my mother in all the planning. Plus, she doesn't have aioli dangling from her lip like Pavitt. I feel like she'll be a good partner in crime to get me through it.
And she's like, well, it's a lot of work. She goes, oh, thank you, mother, for telling me that. I didn't know. I meant for me.
Yeah. She's like, I mean, come on, Jessel, I'm traveling with you. And I go, oh my God, honestly, literally the worst children I've ever seen in my life. And you want to add a third one to it. Have you really thought this through? I'm an old lady. And honestly, even if I were a young lady, I'd be like, no, no, no. You know, this is like Exorcist real life. Okay, so let's really think this through, my sweet daughter.
And Jessel's like, well, it is a circus, mother, but circuses bring in a lot of money, And she's like, but isn't it stressful? And she's like, yeah, well, we just get a nanny. Oh, well, another nanny, and an additional nanny. Just get a team of nannies,
Yeah. So then the mom is like, well, it would be lovely to have a little girl. And Jessel's like, oh, so now you're on board. My goodness. Now we just have to convince Pavitt. Well, why don't you name it Carol? Because he apparently likes Carol's buns. Oh, mother, that was saucy of you.
So just tell him you want to put a bun in the oven. He'll be in. You just need to work on your phrasing. So now we have a flashback of Jessel speaking with Pavitt about it, and just over and over again, and him saying no, pretty much, except he doesn't really say no. And I think that that's the thing. He just needs to say no, I don't want a kid, because I mean, we all know he doesn't. I feel like he said no, but I don't know. It feels like he should just say no. But don't you want one? No. I mean, I think you should both want one, right?
Yeah. I think he does not want a kid, but I think he also really likes fucking with Jessel. I think he likes making her exasperated, and that's like his favorite thing in the world, because that's really all he does the entire episode. So he's like, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Oh my God, if you say we'll see one more time, we'll see. So she basically is like, yeah, we need to go to a therapist because we need to figure out how to communicate. And the mom's like, oh, therapy. Well, if I knew it was coming down to that, then have all the kids you want. Just don't go into therapy. And Jessel says that basically, like, her parents' attitude towards therapy is really bad. Like, it's a waste of money. And she says Indians don't like therapists, but they love an astrologer. And I don't understand. You pay money to go see an astrologer who's going to read the stars and tell you some hocus pocus shit about your life, but you're not going to see a therapist.
So then basically she's like, well, you can help. And she goes, oh, what, you want me to teach him how to communicate? Well, I've done the stomping and I've done the threats and it doesn't work. And she's talking about how Pavitt makes everything into a joke, which is really annoying, which I can get. That's not, they don't seem to have the best communication style, but she doesn't really have the best communication style either, because he clearly doesn't want a child. And so now what she does is she's just going to ask him every single time there's a camera on. But it doesn't work. He does not care. He literally does not care about anything but the chicken wing in front of him. So I don't really know what you're supposed to do, but I would suggest not having another baby with that.
Yeah, I agree. So basically, she tells her mom to babysit tonight because they're going to go try out a new restaurant. And she's like, I'm going to go have a nice dinner with Pavitt, and I'm going to drop some bombs on him. Ha 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 ha. So now we have Raquel going to a restaurant with Uba and then Sai, and they all sit down. They all look fabulous. They're all like, oh my God, you look fabulous. And they order some food and everything. And Sai is like, oh my, wait 1 second, Uba. So I went to this place yesterday and I got this for you. And it's a book that says pigeon watching. She goes, because you could do some pigeon watching. Just pigeons. Because pigeons. Remember pigeons? You remember how pigeons are your thing? There's a book about pigeons.
I thought it was funny that Uba's wearing this like booby showing shirt, and Raquel says, wow, I just got a sneak peek of what you've got on. Wow. She goes, I heard it's vegan, so I brought the meat.
It was going to be your tagline. Bravo denied it.
So yeah, we've got pigeon books and stuff. And it was like, this is actually hilarious. The funniest gift ever. I'm sure there's a chapter of everybody there. Some people have longer pages than others, but even me too. I might be pigeon in that book. So then they start talking about the party and just how great it was. And then Sai's like, oh, wow, look what just happened to come out right now while we were sitting here. U.S. Weekly headline. RHONY's Jenna Lyons is definitely ready to marry Cass Bird. and she tells everybody wearing a giant, unexplainable headband that nobody really understands. She says, "There's a giant ring on my finger."
Jenna is wondering why her cat mysteriously has like broken bones. You're literally marrying someone named Bird, the mortal enemy of cats, or cats are the mortal enemy. The bird is striking back. That's what's happening.
So Molly is accusing Jenna of abusing that cat, and you're accusing Cass Bird. I just want to get
I'm saying marry
you
Cass
heard it here
Bird.
first. Ben is accusing Cass Bird of being an animal abuser. You heard it.
I think Mary. I think. Well, her name is not Mary. Her name is Cass.
Cass
But it
Bird.
just looks like it says Mary Cass Bird. It'd be kind of funny if her name was Mary Cass Bird. Sounds like Mary fuck kill. Anyway,
She's
the lady
ready to marry Cass Bird.
she's ready to marry Cass Bird. Anyway, the point is this. I do think that Cass Bird attacked that cat. Yes, I will go on the record and say that. Yes.
At the very least, Cass Bird tricked that cat into falling out a window, did something.
Cass Bird may have indeed not liked the book that that cat had written. Like it all fits together now.
So then we see, so I was like, I'm confused. Like, one minute she's like, "Oh, I got the ring on my finger. Why is everyone asking if I'm engaged and saying congratulations?" And then we see a flashback of this not at all happening when they're saying,
Yeah.
"I see your ring." And Sai says, "The promise ring." And Rebecca says, "Wait, it's called a promise ring, not an engagement ring." And Jenna said, "No, it's an engagement ring. We have kids and we're just trying to be low profile about it." Okay, so she did call it an engagement ring, and she told you why she's being hush hush about it. But the confusion is still fun, I guess.
Yeah, I don't understand why Sai is either confused or like why is she even bothered by this? So
They want to come for Jenna, but they just can't. Jenna's not comfortable at this point. She's just not. She's not comfortable either. But she's definitely not comfortable. Like she's
comfortable. No.
Yeah.
So Uber's like, "Oh, Cass was married before also, yeah? And maybe that's why they're taking it a little slow because it's not the first time for both of them." So I was like, "Oh, it's the second time around." And Raquel's like, "Yeah, well, I think she's probably like me. I tried to keep it on the low." And they're like, "Yeah, why? By the way, why have you kept your engagement quiet for so long?" She's, "Oh, well, my ex and I, we broke up in October of 2020 and like no one knew. And we kept it quiet for a long time because our business was so entwined with our personal relationship. And when I left my husband was like the first relationship with a woman after I left my husband. And so like people were enamored with our entire story, right?"
Okay,
So
I'm gonna save us. I'm gonna save it because this is a full page of Raquel monologue. Like the note taker actually had to split it up into one.
Oh my God, you're right. It is a full
5,
page.
6, 7 segments of her talking, so we wouldn't get confused. But basically, she says her ex is an artist, and she's like, "The work you see of me at the Whitney." Oh yeah,
Nice humble brag. I loved when she said that. When you see me at the Whitney Biennial, that famous painting of me, right? You guys have seen it. I think we've all seen it, right? Okay.
She's like, that's the final product, but I wasn't just the model. I controlled the hair and the makeup and the look and the everything in those paintings. So we're basically partners in a business. And part of their business is looking like they're in love and they're a couple because people are buying a couple's work. So when they broke up, they kept it secret. So I'm like, that's an odd thing to break up at because that's just being completely inauthentic and still selling art for tens of thousands of dollars under false pretenses, which I don't know. I don't like that. And then she's started dating a woman and all of that, so that they kept it secret for so long that by the time they did start seeing Raquel out with Mel, that it looked like Mel was a wife stealer and that they had ruined this poor innocent artist's life and they made him the victim of everything and basically slut shamed Mel because the husband is the successful rich one in the relationship, as he's the one that everybody needs. And so everybody decided if they're going to have to choose, they're going to slut shame Raquel and kiss the husband's ass, so that there were art trolls coming for them. And like you said, I mean, I'd love to see a good art troll. I'd love to see just some good old confusing splatter on my car that you have to like sit for a moment and think deeply to decipher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't know the people who are on like art world Reddit, being like, "I heard that she has a girlfriend." Like, I just don't know. Like, it just doesn't seem to match. It's like exactly what you said earlier, which is that like this seems like it's part and parcel for the art world. How many stories do we hear about this famous artist having this girlfriend and that girlfriend, and they're artists, they live different unconventional lives, they create their own rules, they live in a world of art. So the fact that there are people who like actively follow this gossip and then are like trolling people involved in this, it seems so counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does, but I guess, it's the whole kissing his ass because he's the rich, powerful one that could stop them from working or getting sold in galleries. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of what she's making it sound like. But look, I like her. I don't think this was told in it. Like we said, like as far as like the acting, not going to give it a huge mark, but I do like her. I think she's a cool chick. And I do think it's impressive that she can make this sound like this huge victim story when basically like, yeah, I mean, you fell in love and left your husband. It's not that uncommon of a story, but she's like, and then the artist trolled me after all of my work creating a company. So I don't know. I like her. I think that they could possibly get under her skin if given a couple of years, and that she could unravel as a reality star. And I see her becoming more fun and delusional as time goes on, because she does have some kind of healthy delusion in her. I see it in there.
Okay, we'll put her on the
very well
Simpson
put
track.
together. Yeah, but she's going to take a while. And honestly, I don't know that this show has that long. You know what I mean? I don't know that we have a couple of years to give Raquel. Although Bravo listens to nothing, so who knows? But I don't know. But
yeah, I think she is an interesting person, and I think she is an accomplished person, and she seems like a cool person to know. I don't find her to be very fascinating in the context of RHONY at the moment. So
is she missing Riz? Let's go over to Brynn at her apartment, talking to the only person on earth that she knows, her brother, her poor brother Garrett's.
But what I really want
out
is
the ass on a cricket bill in international fucking charges because Brynn has to call him every 5 minutes about her petty ass little problems.
Wasn't he staying with her? What happened to that?
Oh, he's just visiting.
Oh, I thought he was staying with her for like a few months. So they FaceTime, and she's talking about how she's like working on a new app. She's like, I'm the co-founder and chief marketing officer of a new app. And it's like, it has to do with like relationships and dating and flirting. What happens when you get wet? And I have developers in London and a team here in New York, and it's fun.
So the app is called Ritz. First, we get to see her dog, who's so cute. And I love that her dog is just like her, because her dog sees that she's on the phone with Darius, and the dog like turns away from the phone and it just whips its head back, like, even with its tongue out, like, So she tells us about her app, Riz, which she said she co-founded. So of course, I went up here and she said, I think the way she's speaking, at least the way I'm remembering, it's a new app. I'm the co-founder and chief marketing officer. Well, this isn't that new. I mean, it's been out over a year, and it's called Riz, and it says it was made with love by Joshua Miller and Roman Caves. So it doesn't list her as a co-creator or whatever, but it's Riz. Not only is it a dating app, it's a dating assistant that's AI. Okay, so listen to this. Looking for a little help with your dating game? Riz has got you covered. Our AI-powered app uses cutting-edge GPT to generate personalized responses that are sure to... Shut up before I murder you. Shut up. I will kill you dead. I will murder you. I will murder your whole family. I will take you all out, Bueller. Bueller, you're going to have to leave this neighborhood. I'm going to kill everybody you ever knew. Okay? All of you are going to be dead. That's right.
Could you say this to your dog? To your dog. That's animal abuse.
Sorry, just cast birded there, everybody. Riz gives you the edge you need to stand out from the crowd. Yeah, with fake fucking AI flirting, that's where we're at. That's fitting because Bree's entire character is written by AI. So it figures she would come out with an AI generated
flirting
dialogue app. This is cray. I don't know if it's the same one, but it's a dating app called Riz. So there you go.
Yeah.
Here's your update, everybody. You're welcome.
So she's like, yeah, it was so like things were like bad when you left, and like basically it got like worse, Darius. Like we went to the Hamptons, and I tried to like sit down with Sai, and like I don't even know what the hell she's like talking about, Darius. So she's like pulling at strings, and then like next day, Uba was like, "Fuck you, Brynn, you're a snake, you're a snake." But I have like literally never been called a snake in my life, even though I love to wrangle them. Put that in the algorithm, Riz.
Everyone's mad at me and I have no idea what I did. I didn't do nothing to anybody. Me.
Well, this is an interesting take on having zero responsibility for anything going on in your life. It's actually kind of sad. I mean, at least be like, oh God, these girls are so triggered because I did some stupid little thing. But just having no idea, Brynn, really why anybody's mad at you. If you can't stand the heat, stop turning on the ovens in the kitchen, ma'am. You're the one turning them all on.
Some like it hot. So Brynn is like, it just feels really awkward. She talks about when she went to the party and like Jessel's party, and felt like some people were like there and some people were there. And she's like, it just feels like really awkward to be at a party where it's just like kind of like, hey, let's pretend you didn't just like tell me to go fuck myself over breakfast bagels in my Hampton.
And Darius is like, I think it's just difficult for you because, you know, it's just so many.
Yeah, people that hate me for no reason. Is that what you're trying to say? People that should love me and then don't. I hate this stuff.
And he was like, well, maybe like try to be the bigger person, like, and like, you know, I just hope you're open to actually being someone that like who you can rely on, and then they can have you to rely on too. And she's like, I love my brother. Like since we're 3 years old, he's been like so hot. And he's told me to be the better person. And I'm like, I'm a preschool mother, and still like he's like giving me the same advice. So I'm going to follow my brother's advice. However, Darius, you have no idea what I'm dealing with.
She says she's going to follow his advice, but she doesn't at all. And she doesn't even acknowledge that he just gave her advice. His advice is, you know, if you want people to be good friends, you should be a good friend to people. You should be that person that people are like, wow, that's a good friend. I'm going to be a good friend to that person. And she just completely disregards that, which is probably the best advice. Now, granted, it would probably kill housewives, but it's the best advice I think we've ever heard on this show, or that I ever recall hearing. And she's just like, oh, well, usually it's just aunts and uncles who are mean to me. And now she's pulling it back to her trauma instead of just listening to the advice, which is be a better person and people will be better to you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So now we go to Jessel and Pavitt walking in Chinatown, and Jessel's like, oh, look, it says this is the first dim sum parlor. That's so cool, right? I'm like, you're just trying to butter him up so you can ask him to go to therapy. Oh, wow. Soup dumpling. That's the coolest thing I ever seen. Now you'll go to therapy with me, right, Pavitt?
So they go in and she's like, oh, wrong shoes, ow, wrong shoes. So they you know, she talks about how he's such a foodie and like he can identify great food, but if you want a vibe, it's all about Jessel.
Yeah. He's like, what? Carol's Bond was like a great spot. Excellent ambiance. So they sit down and he like wants to order everything, and she's like, okay, well, what about vegetables? No. Skip. Vegetables are filler. She's like, okay, so I guess I'm not going to get a vegetable. Disgusting. I wish I were a vegetable right now, so I wouldn't have to look at my husband's stupid face.
Actually, I do feel quite like a vegetable because I'm the only thing in this restaurant that Pavitt's ignoring actively. So call me broccoli and let's get this done, shall we? So he's like, she says, I do love Cantonese style duck. And he's like, I prefer my ducks hanging in the window. I'm like, okay, nerd.
She's so appalled that she made this life choice. She's like, I can't believe I married this idiot. I literally have the clown-faced woman from Vogue coming over to the apartment, and he wants ducks hanging in a window. So they order all sorts of food because he's like, I have a second stomach. And so the server's like, okay, good luck. So they get all this stuff, and then Jess is like, don't you feel a wave of relief when my parents are in town? He's like, yeah, it's really good. Oh, by the way, Mother's Day is on Sunday. I'm not gonna get you a gift. What? But you're supposed to get me a gift. Okay, you'll get a gift. She's not.
But he won't. He will not get her gift. He doesn't believe in gifts. He didn't get her a Valentine's. And she goes off on that again. This is a very, very bad look to not look. It's just a very bad thing to put up with in a marriage. I mean, that's terrible. Like you have to beg. One of my friends is divorcing, and I think it all started with this, the no gifts and just not giving a shit. And it was like, well, I don't think gifts are important. And then that just translated into literally everything else. You know, it's just not good. It's not a good sign. Yeah. And I like Jessel and Pavitt, but yikes, this is not good.
Yep. So Jessel's like, so then Pavitt comes out, and then the food comes out, and he's like taking all sorts of photos, and she's like, well, I always question where I'm on the totem pole of priorities, and if I were a pork bun, I would get everything I wanted. He's like, that's actually 100% correct. I really wish I'd married a pork bun.
So she's like, oh, why did you put that whole thing in your mouth? And he goes, why do you ask dumb questions? Oh my God, this is so romantic. Can't wait for you guys to bring a baby into the world. So he chokes on it. She's like, told you so. He's like, dumplings are one-biters. So now she's talking about her meeting with Tasha, the IVF coach. And Tasha's like, because Jessel's like, I'm getting teary. Look at me, getting teary about how I'd like a baby. And she goes, oh my God, if you're getting teary, that means you really want it and you should do it. Get out of here, IVF saleswoman. It's like the lady trying to sell a car. She's like, you like how it rides? Buy it. It's only 6% interest for the rest of your goddamn lives.
Just but I think the decision to have another baby is not just one person, Pa. Then he goes, well, the decision's already made. There's no baby. She's like, no, well, oh my God, you stress me out, dude. We would be making a big mistake if we didn't do it. He's like, why is it a big mistake? By the way, I really love these noodles. Can we have these noodles as our baby? Okay, how about this? We'll put a little bow on these noodles, and this is our new baby. Well, it is better behaved. No. I want human baby. Human baby, Pavitt.
The only way I'm going to have another baby is if I get pregnant again. Fine, you can get pregnant with noodles. Then I'm going to have a noodle baby. Pavitt. So she's like, that way. Yeah, she's like, but we have so many embryos, and a lot of people who want to have a girl, you know, they can't guarantee them having a girl, but we can have a girl, Pavitt, and that's why we should do. Am I interrupting your chicken moment? And he's like, oh my God, it's hot chicken. Let me take a photo of it. I need a photo of this hot chicken, babe.
He's like, yes, you are interrupting the chicken moment. You know, I'm about to lose my shit. I think we probably should see a professional therapist to help us figure this out. I think you and I and our communication could use a little work. He's like, especially you. She's not, especially you. I'm like, I like Pavitt saying that Jessel needs to work on her communication when he's the one actively with 3 pork buns in his mouth choking.
And at the same time. Yeah. He's like, yeah, but I don't think they need therapy over this either. She wants a baby. He does not want a baby. So either you're going to tell him you have to, or I'm leaving you, or okay, we should both want a baby, so we shouldn't have a baby. But this whole like, you know what, you're not giving me the answer I want, so we should go to a therapist. He's just going to tell the therapist he doesn't want it either. So just tell him he's either going to have to do it. You guys need to come to a decision. I don't know that this is a therapy decision. Now, the communicating,
he's got to
probably. I mean, that's probably you need a therapist. But I think on this actual thing, it's like he's pretty obviously doesn't want a kid. I mean, what can you do?
So he's like, how many times have I told you something, and then you asked me a question, and I said, I told you that 5 minutes ago, and you said, oh, I wasn't listening to you. Well, sometimes I block you out. I'm sorry if I don't want Carol's bun sprayed in my face with everything you say. He goes, see, exactly. You don't listen. So she goes, I truly believe a therapist would help him sort of understand his emotions, or at least to know to swallow first before you start speaking.
His emotions are that he doesn't want a baby. That's it. And she's like, communication is key in marriage, and I just don't understand what he's trying to say. Oh my God, you guys. So she does want to go there for communication, and I think that's good. They should, because this is pretty bad. Like the baby thing, but also just the general no gifts on the birthday and the unattentive thing. And like, I get that they're best friends, but there becomes, you know, you also have to be each other's lovers and spouse. You can't only have the best snarky friend thing going on.
But also, like, if you're not going to do the doting things that she needs, like giving gifts, et cetera, you're going to lose the ability to have any sort of veto power about a baby. I'm sorry. It's like you don't get to like deny the baby and then you also just like don't tend to your wife. Like you need to pull up on some part of this relationship here.
He won't give her a tennis bracelet. You think he's going to give her a human being?
Well, and she's probably doing the thing where she's like, it's okay if he doesn't give me these things because I'm doing the big ask. I'm saving up for the big ask, which is the baby. And he's still going to say no to it, even though she seems to be the one who's like she's the one doing all the work in this relationship. I mean, she's the one who got him to get it to start looking right. And she's bringing in the money and everything. Let her have a baby.
Yeah, I don't know. I think two people should want to have a baby, But I also get that it's super sad when you want one and then you know your partner doesn't. I don't know really how you remedy that, but I don't think any baby should be brought into the world if they're no one wants
I agree that like
the parents don't want it.
Both parents should want it, but at this point, I'm not sure he even wanted the first two. So I mean, might as well, like, as long as she's got the nannies, might as well just bring them on in.
Okay. So, I mean, listen, it adds more to the economy, right? Paying for more.
Listen, it's very rare that I take a pro
There's
baby
a positive
stance
to everything.
I'm not taking a pro baby stance. What I'm taking is a pro Jessel stance. And I want Jessel to get her way over Pavitt in this instance because I think Pavitt's being a dick.
Yeah, I think Pavitt's kind of being a dick too. So then we go to she's like, everything's a joke to you. You're like a leprechaun. You have no sense of reality. And he's like, I live in a fried chicken reality. Which probably isn't the best answer. And so she's like, do you want to speak to someone? And he goes, how much does it cost? And she's like, I don't know. Anywhere between $300 to $500 an hour. It's basically half of a baby storage a month.
He's like, no way. I got a guy for it. I'll find someone cheaper than that. I'm like, I don't think Carol does therapy with her buns. And she's like, well, where do you expect us to do therapy? Carol's buns bench. Speaking of, and he's like, well, if there's a psychiatrist to meet us there, then yes.
Like Dr. Pavitt won't get me birthday gifts and he's denying me a child. And Carol's just like, steam it. Like, you can't just tell me to steam it. Steam it. It solves everything. I won't steam Pavitt. Steam it. Steam it or get out.
So Jessel's like, you're missing the point. I think we should give it a shot. You always have to, you sort of always gravitate towards, oh, it's a bad thing. It's actually not. A lot of people do therapy. Like Jenna and Cass do therapy. And Tom Cruise, I'm sure, does some sort of therapy. And and then we have a flashback to a week earlier where Jenna's telling Jessel that she and Cass do therapy all the time because they want to avoid problems. So Jessel's like, yes, and my assistant just got married and she's already in therapy. I mean, I think therapy could help a lot of people just organize thoughts. Oh, you're not even listening. You're stuffing more noodles into your face, aren't you?
So I gotta put it on my list. So she's really frustrated because he brushes everything under the rug. And then he's like, fine, I'll arrange it. She's like, but you're not going to. I'll do it. He's like, no, I will. She's like, no, I will. He's like, fine, I got it. Just let me get it. Which, means they're going to go to that Chamber of Commerce for food or whatever the fuck. What is he, the president of like the New York Fried Chicken Association?
I think it's like the Street Food Society. We call it the Fried Chicken Society, but like, I think it was like the Street Food Society of New York City or something like that.
He's going to be like, well, they came back with a judgment and it's official. 9 out of 10 fried chicken people say, give them funnel cakes. Just have lots of funnel cakes.
We're going to meet in the middle. Okay. Baby, no. Funnel cake, yes.
And here, if we need to compromise any further, we'll throw in some warm nuts. How's that?
Jessel's like, you know what? Sometimes you just have to give what life takes you, or take what life gives you. The final cake shall be in my new child. And she just spends the rest of her RHONY time just trying to get a funnel cake into an elite private school. She puts a little beret on it.
Tom Cruise is still old enough to enjoy funnel cake.
I swear it can do math. I know it's a funnel cake, but it can do math.
So then we go to Raquel and Mel. Raquel, as we call them, as the kids are calling them, Raquel, walking down the streets, and they're on a way to a gallery. And they're walking through, and she knows she's like, oh, I'm not familiar with this artist. And we meet the curator, and she's like, oh, the artist is queer and interdisciplinary. And Raquel's like, wow, the New York City art world is so insular. Oh, I love her whole play on cornrows with corn, because there's corn. The art is like corn stalks, but then cornrows, like braids growing out of the corn. It's very on the nose, if you will.
So yeah, they're
but
looking
it's
at all this
also
art.
very queer and insular. So who am I to say? You know what I'm saying? That is some insular queerness right there, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's very art scene, and so they're looking at all this stuff. Then they meet some artists and everything, and then they, because they are at an art show, it's now time to sit down and have some snacks. So they are like the real highlight of this is not that they got to see some new artists; it's that they got to have wasabi peas. So they sit down, and Raquel's like, "Oh my god, wasabi peas!" So Mel, what do you think about Jessel's birthday? It was like your second time with everyone, and Mel's like, I know. I got to talk to Abe the babe. Oh, yeah. How was he? He was being a babe. He was so nice. He was trying to help us plan the engagement party. I was like, oh, wow. This is going to be a great scene. Can't wait. Can't wait to see this high energy scene between Raquel and Mel.
And Mikhail's like, yeah, I was like, you're a lesbian event planner. You're basically, you're hired, Abe the babe. I said Abe the babe. And Raquel's like, oh my God. This is like the first art fair we've been together in New York, right? And she goes, yeah, it's nice to be able to go out when artists aren't like, splattering us or calling us vagina flowers, rude art jokes. Remember that time someone was like, oh my God, you're like a Campbell's soup can. You're over. Get out of here.
Yeah. And so, basically, and then they start talking more about this.
I know nothing about the art world. I'm like, I'm completely out of things now. Okay.
Basquiat, more like Basquiat slut. So Raquel, they start talking again about the scandalous foundations of their relationship. And Raquel's like, yeah, a reporter found out about a breakup and Mel got caught in the crosshairs. And then we see an article that was like, art power, couple breaks up. I was like, please tell me that like Chantal from Gallery Girls wrote this, because I just love things. That's what the entire time I was just imagining that cast following this news and gossiping with each other about it.
Sipping on only Oregon wine. And Raquel is talking about how they're portraying Mel as a homewrecker and people are being mean to Mel. And, it's great, but I already saw this scene like a second.
Mel's like, hey, by the way, I'm so glad we made it through that scandal. Thanks for elevating it to a national audience. I really am so glad that we finally got through that. And now you've just reminded the world that I'm a homewrecker.
Yeah. Thanks for giving the internet more chum. Sounds great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So now they're talking about announcing their engagement, and Raquel's like, well, we're going to have this party, and clearly I'm going to post about it. And I mean, you're excited about announcing it, right? And she's like, yeah, but what about your mom? And she goes, and so then we find out about her mom, her mom is not supportive. Her mom was supportive of the first engagement and marriage to the man, but then she wasn't really supportive of her previous relationship with her ex. I guess once they were married, like she stopped liking the
Raquel really upped the stakes on this cast, because this cast, like most of the people in this cast, have an issue with one of their parents. And she's like, guess what? Last week you thought I had an issue with my dad and only my dad, but guess what? I have an issue with my mom too. So her mom, they're not really talking. They talk, but like her mom does not support the lesbian relationship. Their relationship is strained. She doesn't come visit anymore. So now this is like part 2, and it sucks. By the way, it sucks. And by the way, Raquel mother, get it together. That's your daughter. Okay, get with it. It's the 21st century.
So then, they're talking about how awkward it is and how she would love to see her mother, and she is going to invite her mother, but she's not so hopeful about it, And she's like, well, would she show up for her daughter's wedding? I mean, I don't know. Maybe she wouldn't, which is, I'll have to deal with that when I get to that. And so, this is all very sad. I mean, I think it's rough. It's a rough road with most of the parental stories on this show.
Yeah. So either way, I guess she's gonna try to work on mending that relationship now. So now Erin and Abe walk into their Cinco de Mayo party to introduce New York to this cool new beverage called Mezcal. And so Erin's like,
They brought it, and Erin is literally dressed like the dancing lady emoji on the. I just can't. I'm like, really? The
Yeah.
lady in the salsa dress snapping. I'm like, Erin, really? Come on, man.
So everyone is like showing up and saying hi. Uba is there, and Uba is like, I look like a bank teller. Like, will that be all? And just like more.
She doesn't at all, by the way. I don't really know where that's coming from.
I don't know what bank she goes to, but
I'm not really sure where that comes from. So there's a lot of small talk. Erin's like, wow, we're over capacity by like 100 people. Speaking of things that were not over capacity by 100 people, Jessel's party was kind of fun, I guess. I mean, she didn't like bring anything to America, but
yeah. It's like enough of us being separate. We need to like all try to come together. Erin, you were the one being separate at that party. You were the one who holed yourself up in a corner being like, I don't even want to talk to Jenna. I'm gonna be over
you're
here.
also the one turning everybody against each other, you asshole, which you're currently doing in this episode.
Yeah, you're the chief separatist. So so Sai's like, what do you mean being separate? And Erin's like, no, Jessel's party, it was like separate. And it was like, well, I was going to say hi to everyone and Jessel. And then the minute I walked in, like Jessel comes up to me and is like, so how are you and Brynn? Is everything okay? Like everyone's like up in our face. So now Uba's like mad that people are like, oh my God, are you and Brynn okay? Even though like the last thing we saw was Uba being mad at Brynn. And now she's like, why is everyone trying to start a thing between us?
Yeah, but obviously Brynn has said something behind her back because they left that, like, I guess, I don't know. Everyone's just coming to her with drama. She's like, what the hell? Why is everyone coming to me with this shit? So then Erin's like, oh yeah, she went off when we were shopping.
Mhm.
And she's
just
like,
wants to bring people together. By the way, this person
Yeah.
was talking shit about you.
literally 2 seconds after she said, why are we all so separate? By the way, Brynn still hates you. And she's like, yeah, she was on one and she was just really pissed. And so we cut back to the flashback of Brynn saying like, yeah, Sai's genuinely a miserable person. She's a miserable troll that lives under the Brooklyn Bridge. And Uba's been crazy. I'm sick of her. No. Oh my God. She's
Yeah.
So then Sai's like, well, I'm confused. I don't know why she's mad.
I was like, I don't know. And then Uba tells us, ding dong, hello, pigeon. She's, these pigeons, they go out and they have conversation. I'm like, well, okay, it's one thing to be a carrier pigeon, but there's no such thing as like socializing pigeon. Like that's like not a pigeon thing to do. So Erin's like, don't call me a pigeon. I'm a unless it's for mezcal, because I brought it here to America. You're welcome, United States.
Yeah, I think that pigeons are social. I mean, I get what she's saying, like pigeons taking news to each other. Isn't that what she's saying?
Yeah,
I think
that's what she's saying.
Yeah, she's basically like, you and Jessel have this useful information that we don't have. So now you're coming back to us asking how we're doing, and I'm dumbfounded by that. So I was like, if she's mad at me, she can talk to me. I kind of like that they don't fall for this, and they're just like, whatever, Erin. If she's so upset, then like, how many episodes are you going to start a fight? They're onto it now, basically.
Right. So Raquel and Mel come in and they walk in and say hi and everything. And then Brynn walks in and she's like, I'm walking into this party with an open heart, but I feel guarded. So if someone's like, let's make up or let's go talk, I'm literally so scared because it like keeps going so poorly.
Well, I hope there's a lot of guys here ready to invest in Brynn's IP. Ding. Ding. And then Erin goes to hug Erin hugs Dorothy, her mom, and so she's like, oh my God, it means so much to have my mom here. She talks about her mom going through chemo and stuff, and she loves seeing her mom happy. And then her dad comes in, and Brynn's like, oh, hey, Daddy. You are so turtle right now. You're like turtle in sunshine, sexy stuff. Sorry, I got that off my app, Riz. I hope it made sense.
And then Sai is talking about how she's so relieved that there's food at this event. And then she's like, I mean, she's serving food and drinks, and I don't think anything's sponsored, just her alcohol. And so they're all just like continuing to talk and to chat and everything. And Brynn is talking to Eli, Erin's dad. She's like, I'm looking for your daughter. And he's like, yeah, I'm looking for her too. And she's like, and then Sai is like, hi, Brynn. Hi, Erin's papa. And she's like, hi. And so he says hi, but Brynn doesn't. So they're like, Brynn didn't say hi back.
Dun, dun, dun. So then she just stands talking to flirting with the dad really heavily right in front of the girls just to trigger them so that someone will say she's a gold digger or a sugar baby, and then she can cry about it later. Because that's what Brynn does. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna upset everybody, and then when they get mad, I'm gonna cry about it. I'm not approaching the table. I'm gonna keep my distance. Who was it? Einstein that said repeating the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is really sexy, actually. God, I loved his hair. Come here, daddy.
E equals MC horny.
So then now Brynn's just making small talk, like, what happened to your girlfriend? She went back to LA. You don't want to go back to LA? You don't like to be in bed all day? He goes, no, I hate LA. 9:00, everybody's bed. She goes, oh, you don't like to be in bed all day, daddy? And he's like, with you, I like to be in bed. She's like,
Then Sai's like,
I don't know why Brynn's being weird. She walks by our table, she moves with Erin's daddy, and then she gets upset that there are all these sugar daddy stories. I mean, if it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, it might be a sugar baby. I don't know.
Walks like a duck, talks like a duck, probably banging Brynn's dad. What's her buns' dad, Erin's dad.
So then Jenna comes in, and she's passing a guy standing outside in a suit. She just goes, oh, cute. And he just kind of looks at her like, what the fuck?
he's like, I know where your cat lives. Be quiet, lady. So Jenna's like, she comes in and she goes, oh my God, Erin, that was the lamest hug I've ever gotten. Okay, we're not doing this. Give me a proper hug. She's like, Jenna, why are you tilting your head and winking at me? And why do I actually feel warmer looking into your eyes as you wink at me?
Why are you licking my forehead? Please stop.
I don't want a fancy feast, but thank you for the offer, I guess.
So then she tells the girls, where's Brynn? And they point, and Brynn is still flirting with the dad. And so Eli's like, I'm going to use the bathroom. Don't lose me. And she's like,
lose you? Does that mean I won you?
and
Erin's like speaking to some guest. She's like, yeah, it's called Mezcal. It's much better for you because it's 100% pure agave. Wait, hold on one second. There's a laser pointer I've got to go chase. Cut to Jenna Lyons moving a laser pointer.
So she's like, whoa, sorry. I couldn't decide, laser or carrot stick, but I don't want to drink. Please. Anything non-alcoholic would be great. Hold on, I'm just gonna quick. Erin, Jenna, please don't pee right there. Well, I'm just scratching. I'm just seeing out. Just making sure that I know where to go when it's time to go. Please don't.
Rebecca Minkoff enters. She's like, hey girls, sorry I'm late. I just got some new sheets for my virginity bed. What's going on?
Sorry, girls. I just breastfed a teenager and chased out a woman who was trying to leave the church and had her locked up. And then I squirted blood out of my vagina into a cup. So how's everything going over here?
Sorry, I've just been collecting my mucus in a thimble, and it's just been much more difficult than I thought it would be. What's going on? So then Jessel and Pavitt walk up, and Jessel's like, well, there's probably not going to be any food, so if you're looking for fried chicken or some noodle or a pork bun, you're gonna have to figure that one out. He's like, it's all right, I'll order a burrito. She's like, ugh, disgusting. So, and then what if I just leave him at the party and never come back?
So then Erin's mom says hi to everybody. And, everybody's, complimenting each other's clothes. And, because it's this show, it's how we roll for half an hour.
Almost everyone
And then
is.
Jessel comes in and she's like, something smells. Is that you, Erin? Are you wearing your deodorant again? She's like, wait a minute. Do I smell? It's just, well, something does.
Something does, and I decided it just has to be you. And then Mel's like, wait a second, smell this plate of onions. Oh, that's what it was. Sorry, Erin, I apologize. I confused your normal scent with a plate of onions. You can understand my mistake.
So you're smelling like taco toppings on purpose today? Is that what we're going for? Erin's like, how dare you come into my party and then say I smell? My God, if you're coming here to complain, I'm getting out of here. And so then she does. She goes and talks to guests. She's like, Mezcal is smoky and ours is really smooth. And I want women to drink Mezcal.
She's so empowering. At this moment in our nation's history, thank God for Erin getting women to drink Mezcal. They're like, does Mezcal and why does the Mezcal smell like onions? Oh, sorry, that's apparently my deodorant. So then then there's like taking photos in their booth and everything, and it's all fun. And then Brynn decides that she is like she's sort of like the only one not with the group right now, and she's like,
Life is short, and I can't stand having beef or tension with people. And I don't know at this point if sweeping it under the rug is sustainable. Do me on a rug. That's not sustainable. Yes.
Well, she's tried to get someone to come over and say, Brynn, what's wrong? Why are you talking to the group? But everyone's just blowing her off. So now she's like, okay, well, maybe that's not going to work. So I guess I'll go talk to the group now. So then she's like,
I mean, how much can you brush under the rug before it's filthy? It's just really dirty. Rugs, you don't want to get dirty because then they're weird colors and then they're not healthy. It's not fun having a dirty rug. I'm feeling like this.
I'm spiraling.
Is this what it feels like to be serious?
So Uba so then Uba's like, well, apparently Brynn was talking a lot of shit. Did you forget? Jessel, you don't remember? Because Jessel does his face like, what? She's, oh, did you forget the Alzheimer's just kick in? Jessel's like, no, she was. I was just reacting to the idea that Erin's deodorant smells so much like onions. So then Brynn goes up to the table now and decides like,
okay, you know what, Brynn, we gotta figure this out because I'm so confused.
And Uba's like, yes, so who's gonna start the conversation here? Okay, well, come on, let's get this talking. And Uba's like, at Jessel's party, they all noticed that you and I didn't talk. And then the minute I walked into the party, Jessel grabs me and said, oh my God, is everything okay with you and Brynn? And I'm like, do I have a problem with Brynn? And if Brynn has a problem with then Brynn should come and talk to me. Fast forward, here I am, and what's going on, Brynn?
Yeah. And she's like, and Sai and I are sitting here, and then Erin comes up and she's like, well, Brynn was saying shit about you. And Brynn goes, yeah, that sounds about right, Erin. And Erin's like, oh, guys, it's really not that deep. My God. Yeah, it is. You just try to start another war at your own party. So next week you can be like, I can't believe they were fighting at my party.
If it's not that deep, why are you going around telling people as soon as they walk in the room? That feels kind of deep.
So Uba's like, oh, okay, it's not deep then. That's fine. Then we drop it. And so Uba starts swilling around the water bottle and then drinking out of it. And they're like, oh, that's the table's water bottle. There's a glass right there. She goes, and Jessel says that. She's like, why are you drinking from the bottle? There's a glass there. Is my husband now contagious? Is that it? Did you have a burrito being delivered?
And then, without even a hesitation, Uba looks at Jessel and goes, you use a glass because you're a basic bitch and I'm not. I let out the biggest laugh. I was like, where did that come from? I love that became the standard of being a basic bitch. You use a glass. Well, I'm going to drink directly from the carafe. You're a basic bitch who uses a glass.
Well, you see what she does with a fork. You're just going to be mortified. So she's like, it was my water at my table, and you're not my mom. You don't tell me what to do, you basic bitch. Because if you're not a basic bitch, you will come and tell your friends when people are talking behind their back. Okay, so now you're mad that Erin told you that they were talking behind your back. while at the same time being mad that Jessel didn't tell you that people were talking behind her back. Which lane are you in? You fucking water drunk?
You're a basic bitch. Oh, using a fork, you basic bitch. So Jessel's like, can I just say I am anything but basic? And Si's like,
Can I just say everything needs to be perfect?
so Jenna's like, so Uba, by the way, basic bitch is somebody who has no style and no humor. And Uba's like, that's not true.
Okay. And Jenna's like, oh, Raquel, if I say someone is a basic bitch, what is that? Stop licking yourself. I'm sorry. What does that mean to you? And she's like, I think basic bitch is equated with like Karen. And Jenna's like, okay, Karen then. And Jessel's like, I'm a Karen now. I would really appreciate not to be called a basic bitch. And Erin goes, wait, am I a basic bitch to her? Okay, Erin is.
Erin is the most basic bitch here, but I love that they are all struggling with this concept.
None of them get what basic means. I love it. It's not a Karen. A basic bitch is not a Karen.
It's not a Karen. Erin's like, well, apparently I'm a Karen and I smell. It's like, oh my God, you wear deodorant that's natural. So of course I'm going to say that you smell.
So then Jenna's like, Jessel, you're mean for telling her that she smells. She goes, but she does sometimes. Sorry. I mean, no one wants to host a party smelling like a dirty sock onion, right? And Erin's like, Brynn, I'm happy that you two are chilling, meaning her and Sai. And Sai's like,
We're fine. We talked in the Hamptons. I moved on. Okay, I moved on.
and Brynn's like,
I really miss being friends, almost as much as I miss Erin's dad.
So Sai's like,
I don't trust her, and I'm disappointed that my friend is still talking shit about me, but I do want to have fun again, so back to the surface we go. Swim, swim, swim.
So Erin's like, well, I guess everyone is good. Mezcal brings people together. If only we had brought Mezcal to America sooner.
So then basically they're like, okay, well, it's another episode where we're trying to have a fun fight, but it didn't work out. So let's just everybody put the hands in the middle and we'll make up. So they do that. Yeah. And Jessel's like, this is the dumbest thing we've ever done. And we went to Erin's engagement party last year. So then they're like, well, hey, wait a minute, where'd Rebecca go? And Erin says that she had to go to an accessory award. And Brynn's like,
I didn't know Nordstrom Rack gives that award.
Okay, you're just gonna try that line until it's funny, and it still makes no sense. It's an honor to even be in the rack, girl.
Yeah,
why would she credit for other people's apps?
Rebecca Minkoff is literally so successful, and here you are trying to launch your fucking Riz app, okay, stealing some Gen Z terminology, and you're trying to get that launched. You should be so lucky to have Rebecca Minkoff on your side to promote it. Like, what is going on with her?
I don't know. So then Abe and Erin give a speech, and it's an Abe and Erin speech. And Brynn's like,
I'm gonna put my timer on for this one. And a condom just in case.
And then because we see a flashback of when they gave endless speeches last time. And so Erin's like, I just want to thank you. I want to thank everyone who's here. I'm like pinching myself that I got to be the American that got to introduce America to Mezcal. Wow. I'm a pioneer. Wow. And then the business partner gets up and starts talking, and then everyone's like, wait a second, is that the one that Erin slept with? So they're all like cracking up at this,
especially because his speech is like, I'm the co-founder and president, but I'm really just their marriage counselor. It's like, wow. So you were banging Erin, and now you're kind of making fun of how much her marriage sucks in public.
Well, he's like, this is truly a family business.
Yeah, the girls are cracking up, and Brynn's like, there's not. Oh God, we forgot a Brynn line in this. I'm sorry, it's probably my fault for glazing over it, but literally. But there was one point where she's like,
I can't with these girls. It's like banging my head up against the wall.
And I literally sat on my couch. Or like banging your head on a headboard, am I right? And she goes,
I'd rather be banging my head on a headboard.
I was like, you are officially AI. I can't with you, okay? You are a generated answer from the Siri. Please.
It's just predictable. It's like you see the jokes coming. You see her, she gets and she's like so happy with herself. Much like I am half the time on this podcast, I won't lie. I'm like, I made a joke, but still. So she's like,
Yeah, they're not just like shares in that company. They're sharing a lot. He's taking stock of that ass, huh?
so yeah. So the Mezcal has officially been introduced to the US of A through Erin. And the women are able to come together. See, who said this country was divided? Look at the way these women put their hands in the center of this table. There is hope for us all.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's been a good day. Everybody have a good day out there. Remember, no matter what happens in the world, for some people it's a great day. Good for you guys. Glad you're having fun. And for some of those, it's a worse day. But no matter if it's a good day or it's a bad day, we're going to be here because we love you guys and we love.
We're always better off than the people on Bravo.
No matter what happens in this world, just try to laugh. Okay, that's all we can really tell you at this point. It's when things are going good and when things are not going good for you. Just smile through it. Push it down. Push it down. Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
We're fanning out for Bethany Fannin.
Put your hands together for Carly Clapp.
Dana C. Dana Do.
Erin McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know Your Worth with Jason Kurth.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
Rigging the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Let's get feely with Maggie Sheely. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
Cast a Spell with Shannon Spellman.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish, it's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Ring that bell for Rachel.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.